marfooglenews.com/EMP. What's up? What is up? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Let's try that again. Let's try that. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Having some technical difficulties with YouTube here, so that's all right. Either way, my name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Just a friendly reminder that nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Now that I'm getting back on track here, let's just remind people, do not depend on YouTube for notifications. In fact, if you go by the YouTube notification, you'll probably be off by about 15 to 30 minutes. Just a reminder here, you can actually go and get our notifications that go out the second we go live at marfooglenews.com. We set up the YouTube because we're doing multiple platforms and we give you a place to talk before the show. Again, so just remember that. We tell you every show to do that. So try to keep the negativity before the shows to a minimum. The Twitter and the official notification that go out through us, that is accurate down to the minute. All right, let's get started. I'm going to bring in Dex. Dex is my co-host. He'll be doing the phones tonight. The number is 224-400-MARF. This is a live call-in show. That's why anything can happen, like me in the beginning. So let's get right to it. Dex, what is going on, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam.
I had the wrong mic plugged in. That's what happened.
That's funny.
Either way,
I'm doing great, man. Great to hear you tonight.
So
good show earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a show earlier. If you haven't seen it, go over to Marfoogle TV. We showed you a lot of the videos that are coming out of Texas and other states, of course, because it's frozen in the Midwest, and it's gotten really, really serious. And then, of course, everything tonight will be backed up and archived on our website. In fact, if you go to marfooglenews.com, it's very easy to navigate. You look for tonight's show and go to this thumbnail, and once you go there, you will see that we have every single tweet, every single video, every single document backed up and sourced. A bibliography of sorts. This is another reason why it takes us time to put the show together. Before every show, we prepare a website, individual, archived for every show. So all of the stories here, you can follow along on a second device, or you can go back retrospectively and read it later, or read it on the pot tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me. On top of this, you can call in. You want to press option 4 at 224-400-MARF if you want to get through. If you want to submit videos, go to marfooglenews.com, play my video. So before we get into the serious stuff, and there is quite a bit of serious stuff, just to let you know, India and China have been going at it, of course, at their borders. All of a sudden, China just kind of packed up and demilitarized the border zones, which is really, really weird. So all of the troops just kind of bounced out. On top of that, just a couple days ago, somebody commented, they said this Russian and drill was in the Indian Ocean, that India did not join them. That is actually incorrect. We were reporting correctly. India has joined Russia and the I country in their drills, which is kind of weird since Russia and China are so close and India and China are kind of butting heads. But are they? That's what I want to know, because there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and obviously we're seeing some things that don't really make sense. Now all of a sudden India is joining them. If you remember my talk from the other day, we were just mentioning, and I've talked with many people about this, how Pearl Harbor, we didn't expect anything to happen from Japan because we were in peace talks with them. Of course, especially with India right now, there's some big stuff going on there. If you haven't heard about the whole Greta thing, and again, Greta, the whole scenario is getting people knocked off just talking about it. So if you haven't looked at it, I would suggest going over to Tim Pool's video on that. He actually has O'Keefe on there, and he has We Are Change and all sorts of people on there talking about it. Not to mention some of the stuff going on with FB. So lots of really crazy stuff tonight. This is actually going to be a really good show, so I hope you guys all tune in. Now, I'm just going to get straight into it. Thank you guys for putting up with my live faux pas there. I really do appreciate it. It throws me off. But let me get back in the zone. Hold on. All right, that wasted 2 minutes of the filler time. Nearly 12 million Texans now face water disruptions. The state is asking residents to stop dripping taps. Okay, so this is exactly the opposite of what, of course, everybody's been suggesting because everybody is busting their pipelines. It says nearly 12 million Texans still face water disruptions, and it says the state is asking them to stop, and that's because it is so much water going out from everybody dripping their taps to prevent their pipes from busting. One thing I don't get is they're asking people to deal with no power voluntarily, or it's not even voluntarily. It's mandatory. It's like, hey, we're shutting off your power, and there's no choice about it. If you're not prepped, then you're just kind of SOL. We're going to turn off your power, and then by the way, we need you to not run your water, and we need your pipes to bust. Because you can afford the thousands of dollars of damage it's going to do. I guess, right? It says, first Texans lost their power, now they're losing their potable water. It says, after enduring multiple days of freezing temperatures and Texans dripping faucets to prevent frozen pipes from bursting, cities across the state warned residents on Wednesday that water levels are dangerously low and may be unsafe to drink. Okay, so rewind. Remember last week, Dex, we covered a story where some guy hacked in and changed the levels on a water supply? Do you think that maybe that might be part of it and the whole solar winds hack, or do you think this is totally...
I do remember that. Oh no, and they just changed the amount of was it nitrate or something in the water to a very high level. I don't know if it was enough to hurt people, but it certainly wouldn't have been good.
Well, they said if it did go through, if they didn't catch it, it was like sodium nitrate or something like that. And they remotely basically boosted the levels of this stuff in the water. What city was that? Do you remember? Or does anybody in chat remember what city that was in? You can feel free to put it in the comments.
Because it was Florida. Around the time of the big game, right?
That's right. So a whole city was kind of on alert because somebody remotely hacked into the water supply and changed the levels in it, right? And if somebody manually did not see it happen, apparently somebody saw it going up and adjusted it before it was too late, it would have been a really bad scenario. Now they're saying that because it's so low, I wonder if that's because when the water gets so low in these kind of, maybe in the reservoir or something like that, at the bottom it's kind of the settled crap. I'm curious why it may be unsafe to drink because it's so low. Is that the reason? Is it because of settling and the level of kind of stuff at the bottom of the barrel? And, of course, everybody is, dripping their faucets, so you got a lot of water going out. People don't realize, but I knew, because I was a HACCP manager, and I was quality control, but I would also look after things in my early 20s. I would look at things in maintenance. Like, if something was running... we did the math on how much that would cost, and it actually cost thousands of dollars if you even left just a faucet dripping, because that adds up. If it's going 24/7, that little drop turns into $100 or $200, and if you've got that happening all over the place, you've got thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how many locations you have doing it. This is a big deal because what other choice do they have? Their neighbors, they're seeing water coming out of their porch, and they're saying, what happened? Oh, well, I didn't drip my faucet. Okay, well, I'm going to drip mine. This is like nuts. It seems like Texas is like having something happen to them here, beyond just weather. It's just nuts. It says they are asking Texans to boil tap water for drinking. Wow. So this is prepping 101. People say, hey, fill up your bathtubs before you don't have water, and then, of course, boil it. It says for drinking, cooking, brushing their teeth, and making ice. I don't know why you'd need ice in this weather, but okay. Margaritas, probably a lot of margaritas, as residents have been struggling to maintain power and heat in an unprecedented winter storm that whips across the state. Activities such as showering and doing laundry are safe, but cities under water boil notices are asking people to conserve water if at all possible. So it's not it's not mandated, and there's not really any way they can control it other than in one day from now if they say, hey, we're just cutting off the water. But just so you realize, like my brother-in-law who got stuck yesterday morning, this hotel that he was at, they could not legally have him in that hotel because their water was off. Without running water, they are not allowed to have guests. So that is exactly why he got kicked out on the streets. If they actually, can they cut water? They can cut electricity. So can they cut water? I actually don't know that. Dex, can they actually cut water? Can they turn the water off? I know they can turn electricity off. It just seems like that would be the next logical step.
Yeah, they certainly can. I don't know if it's, as easy to cut power. I guess they could turn that off at any location and shut it down.
You'd think water...
I know with the power, you can actually, with those smart meters, they can turn on and off homes if they wanted to.
You would think that water would just be just as easy. By the way, Rick, Missouri, thank you for the Nijigiti. He says, love your show, keep it up. And then rest in peace, Rush Limbaugh says, Zippy Moons. Tower Bear, I got an emergency alert saying to boil our water, Houston, Texas. So right there is somebody in Houston, Texas saying that. What is life, says Drippy. Thank you for coming tonight. And then Samaria Saktakai says, grid formation seeding in Hamilton, Ohio. Of course, talking about above giant square clouds. Yes, send in. If you get the video of it or the stuff, send it to marfooglenews.com/playmyvideo. So, obviously, they can cut this stuff off. This is huge. I mean, this is like a never-ending nightmare for Texas. It says power outages linger for millions as another icy storm looms. They say that another one's coming. It says Austin, Texas utility crews raced Wednesday to restore power to nearly 3.4 million customers around the U.S. who were still without electricity or heat in the aftermath of the deadly winter storm. And another blast of ice and snow threatened to sow more chaos. It says the latest storm front was expected to bring more hardship, especially to states unaccustomed to such frigid weather, parts of Texas, Arkansas, and the lower Mississippi Valley. It says, quote, there's no let up of some of the misery people are feeling across the area. I totally agree with that. We know we have tons of Foogle fam that are in their cars right now that are basically running their cars to survive right now. And, you'd think I was exaggerating, but that is literally what is happening right now. People are using up any bit of gas that they have, and they are keeping their cars running to charge their phones and to even stay communicating. It says the system was forecast to move into the Northeast on Thursday. More than 100 million people live in areas covered by some type of winter weather warning, watch, or advisory. It says at least 30 people, so it's doubled in a day or maybe 2 days. It's doubled in 2 days. At least 30 people have perished in the extreme weather this week. And it is a week. I mean, this is a really long one. And then we have $5,152 power bill. Texas winter storm hell only gets worse. This is crazy. It says, and as an historic winter storm raged across Texas over the weekend, Alakai Scott Amos received an alarming message from her power company. It says, please switch services because prices are about to explode. It says the 43-year-old owner of an organic skincare and apothecary shop was initially confused by the message from Gritty, which sells wholesale power for a monthly membership, but she began to look for other providers. Then she checked her bill. It says, I paid $450 for one day. That is more than I made at my minimum wage jobs for a 2-week check for one day of power. It says, I was in shock, Scott Amos told the Daily Beast on Wednesday. It made no sense because we have a gas heater. So on top of that, they actually had a gas heater in the house. It says a gas fireplace, and we have been keeping the temperature at about 65 degrees. With that amount of money and the labeled amount of usage Gritty said was used, we would have had to been lighting up the whole neighborhood. It says the nightmare only got worse on Monday when she realized her bill had increased by another $2,500. In comparison, Scott Amos paid $33 last year for the entire month of February. $33 for the entire month, this month, last year, $33. This year, $450 in a day. $2,500. You're talking about $5,600 for this this man's bill. It says, I don't have that type of money, she said. The name is Scott. That's so weird. Okay. Well, nowadays, you never know. I don't have that type of money, she said. I now owe Gritty $2,869, which is going to put me in debt. This is going to mess up my credit. Are they going to cut me off in the middle of this ongoing crisis? Scott Amos is not alone. Dozens of Gritty customers have blasted the wholesale power company for their outrageously high bills amid a winter disaster. How do they even do this? I mean, this is way worse than like... I mean, I think this is worse because this is putting people's lives in danger than the people that were charging, $20 for a mask in the beginning of this event here. The poachers or whatever you want to call them. It says, despite the astronomical price, it says Scott Amos is considered one of the lucky ones, as millions of people across Texas are still without power. So she actually has power. So that is one thing, right? But imagine that. Imagine having power or having the option. Say if it was those prices, I'm sure a lot of you would say, okay, I'm sleeping in a tent or I'm sleeping in my car. I'm not paying that. I think that's wrong. But I know that there's a lot of tough people out there that would say, hell no, I'm not paying you, and you can go shove it. Or they would use the power and then still say, shove it. We're not paying that. And then we have, a whole other group of people that I would sue. There's got to be something illegal there. What do you think? Would you pay it, or would you say, screw you, I'm not doing it? I guess here's the first comment of the day. So if you're watching the replay, comment underneath. But if you are live, would you would you just pay it? 2, would you say screw it and turn it off and say I'm not using your electricity? Or 3, would you use the electricity and say shove it? 1, 2, or 3. It says the storm, which bulldozed through parts of the central and southern United States this week, has killed at least 30 people and hospitalized dozens more who have resorted to dangerous measures to stay warm. It says this is a double-edged sword, Scott Amos said. Thankfully, we have power, but what price? At what price? It says we are using it minimally and getting charged thousands. Most people I know don't even have power, and I'm getting these outrageous bills. It's kind of like, that's kind of a big one. Zigwa, thank you. Praying for everyone being displaced into danger. Exactly. Samari Saktakai says brother-in-law in Killen, Texas, and has not had water or power for a week, below 0 temps. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Did you see the map we showed you last night? The entire country is in the 20s. I mean, like, it's nuts. We've never seen some of the places this cold. And then, of course, they're going to use this later on. They're going to say, in fact, if you haven't seen a recent 60 Minutes interview, I'll just pull up a screenshot here. Let me show you. So you can, and I'm going to reference this, I possibly will reference this multiple times during the show, where they talk about basically doing the programs up above us to keep the warming away, right? And to reduce carbon and everything else, right? This is pretty insane stuff that he's talking about. He's totally forgot about the other event, and now he has moved on to other stuff, right? So he's talking about an actual thing that many were made fun of and called crazy for. Of course, everybody looking up at the sky for the last 20 years was like, yeah, that's happening. And everybody else is like, yeah, sure. And now they're actually going to do it, and they're going to do it publicly, and people are going to thank them. Because obviously nobody wants to have a situation like this, right? Or snow in Athens, Greece, or snow in Israel. Yeah, that's happening. So, of course, we know about stuff since the 60s. In fact, even government documents have come out and been declassified. They've been altering stuff for a while, and they've had the ability for quite a bit. Just look at Vietnam. That was kind of the infancy, in my opinion. I'm sure it was way beyond that. What do you think? Ed G. Whalen, thank you so much. A lot of I would use it and shove it there, by the way. All those chats. Yeah, why does one person get so involved in absolutely everything? Speaking of which, let's see here. If you want to support us in a different way, please consider going over and checking out EMP Shield. EMP Shield is an actual device that can protect you against all three phases of EMPs, including E1, E2, and E3, and it can protect you against solar flare protection. It can also protect you against lightning. If you're in the Midwest, you might have a lot of those. Again, this is no surge protector. This is the ultimate military-tested, military-used device to protect you against these things. In fact, DHS, DOD, and now Texas, the official DEMSO team, is using this company. So go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/EMP. And then again, there is the contest just ended, so make sure to head over there, and we'll actually be announcing the winners here soon. There's devices for your house, for your generator, all of these things. If you can't see the writing on the wall, I don't know what to tell you. That's again, marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right. Getting back into it, and of course, talk to anybody that's already dealt with this company. They're amazing. Kaja Flygirl Bates is a gaslighter. Yes, he's one of those gas heaters that you put beside a table at an outdoor restaurant. Glad to see the show running strong. Well, thank you, Brad70. I appreciate that. Dixie Doe, I appreciate you as well. And then, of course, Ty Palomino didn't set up payment arrangement equals accept response for bill. Talking about the power thing. Accept response equals accept response for bill. I didn't get that. I'm assuming the bill was so astronomically high, you set up a payment arrangement and then they let you pay it off, whatever, $2 on every month for the rest of your life. El Camote says, running your car without any ventilation is dangerous. Some people are not aware of this. El Camote, I've been talking about that for 3 days, and I'm really sad to hear that a couple people did that, and that's incredible. I don't know how people don't know that. That is like when I learned to drive. I knew that before I learned how to drive. I knew that when I was like, you hear about people, kind of taking their own life that way. I guess I wasn't sheltered from anything, so I knew that when I was tiny, but it's pretty crazy stuff. But good point. Martin Benjamin says, watching some of the footage from Texas is absolutely insane. It's very sad and eye-opening. Praying for Texas. Stay safe. Foogle fam. I know it is absolutely horrible, and I hope that it ends very quickly. Of course, somebody's probably going to come in like a Superman and say, "Oh, I've got the solution here, and I'm going to be Mr. Superman, and I'm also going to bring you Windows 12." Let's see here. Doc Bill, the cost of charging at a Tesla just once at the price of electricity in the collapsing Texas energy market is now $900. Yep, one charge is $900. Did you hear that? Dex, what do you think about that? If a Tesla is $900 to charge right now at the current rates that they are doing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't understand how the rates work that way. I'm guessing it's because of if it's supposed to be distributed across so many people, but there aren't enough people using it because it's out. Does that mean everyone else is footing the bill? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how it works over there. And maybe it works that way everywhere. I mean, what would happen in my state if half the state was without power? Would my power bill go up double or triple? I don't know. That's crazy.
I don't even know how it's legal. I mean, that's pretty insane. Well, let's get the next caller. Then we're going to talk about satellite images show China emptying military camps at the border flashpoint with India. Why? They're emptying their troops out. They're bringing them back. They're doing something. It says they have dismantled dozens of structures and moved vehicles to empty out entire camps along the disputed Himalayan border. Did they just kiss and make up? Did they just smooch and take a hit of the hooch and say it's okay? What just happened? Oh, and yeah, India joined Russia's joint military exercises, which again, I've always said, you always want to watch those because in history they've done joint military exercises, and it turns out it was just a way to gather your guys together and not too much attention drawn to yourself. So just saying again. All right, I'm ready. Dex, let's take this phone call, and let's take it good. By the way, we're going to bring on some guests in the next week. I hope you guys are all tuned in. What's up, guys? You are live on Marfoogle News. What is happening? Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with tonight?
Hey, Marf, it's Giant Tyrant.
Hey, what's going on, Giant Tyrant? How are you doing? And
hey, how's it going?
What did you want to talk about tonight?
I got a couple of videos. The first one, Dex, I think Dex sent you the link already.
Okay, I'm pulling it up now.
It's got asteroids.
Oh, what a trip. Okay.
I forgot the name.
I'm going to pull it up. What are we going to be looking at here? This first video. Let me see here.
I was actually just looking for the timestamps on the other video. The first one is it's like a slideshow of different pictures at night.
And Giant,
and it's got,
am I correct that you have a super zoom camera as well? Is that right?
Yeah, I have the P1000.
That's right. Okay, that's why it's you, RE55, and a couple others that have they have extreme zoom cameras. They're cameras specifically made with 1,000 times optical zoom. Is that right? Something like that. It's optical. Yeah. It's not digital, so it's not just blowing it up. It's actually zooming in with a crazy large lens. So they get really, really great photos and videos of meteors and all sorts of stuff. So we're already about 50 seconds in. I see some clouds, and then it's going through a slideshow.
Are you looking at the slideshow one? I'm not watching the show right now.
That's all right. So we're looking at kind of a cigar-shaped cloud.
Yeah. Do you see how the cloud is pushing through the sky, and it kind of makes it's pushing all the other clouds around it away?
Yes, I do. That's weird.
As it goes by, you could see it's like it was like spherical shaped. It looked like a ball going across the sky between both of those.
It almost looks like
it was pretty strange.
It almost looks like there's something parked there.
Yeah,
that's weird.
They're like pushing the other clouds around them away.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
That looks like the bottom of a boat or something. like a rowboat in the sky.
That was in the pitch black too. That was at night. It was pitch black. That was like 11 o'clock at night. But my camera has pretty good light filtration. I can pull in a lot of light with that, and you couldn't even see that hardly. And I looked up and could make out the lines and started taking pictures of it. And it was this pretty incredible?
So was this a long exposure then?
No. People want to say it's a chemtrail, but it's definitely not.
Yeah, don't say that word again. Otherwise, we'll get a nice Wikipedia under our video.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so
sorry about that.
What is there a screenshot that you or a screen grab on this one, or should we hop to the next one?
No, not on that one. That's on the second video. The beings flying around the sun and the shockwave.
Okay, let's see here. One sec. Let me pull it up. What a trip. I'm always surprised what you can see at night when you do, if you have a good DSLR and a fast aperture lens, you catch a lot of weird stuff. I do, and I just have, I don't have a super zoom lens. I just have a regular, wide angle lens. Okay, so beings flying around the sun and shockwave pulse. This looks like it's one of your super zoom videos. What are we looking at now? Looks like it's trying to get in
Go
focus.
to the end of that video at about 1 minute and 33 seconds. It's like at the very end of it.
Okay.
All throughout that whole video, they're flying around the sun. They look like little bugs, but they are. But I don't know if you can see. I'm not watching the screen. What you're seeing. But from the left to the right, there's a wave. It looks like a shockwave goes clear across the whole screen for like a few seconds.
Hold on though. What is the red lights there? Is that something else?
The red light it's my lens filter. I'm using a polarized lens filter because I'm looking directly at the sun, and it's just the way the light's reflecting off the lens filter.
I'm glad that you said it was that instead of, saying, oh, it was something else I saw. Okay.
Oh, so yeah, sorry. I should have clarified that.
Okay, I see it.
See what you're seeing.
Well,
Did you see that little shockwave?
It's a little bit hard to see. This is definitely a video that you have to watch a couple times.
Yeah, you have to slow it down, too. That helps if you slow it down on the play speed. I was trying to edit another video real quick and make another video of that so I could show it, but I'll have to do that next time I call in.
Okay, I'm at 126, and I just slowed it down to quarter speed. So let's see if we can...
Oh, go to 133. Go to 133.
I'll just let it play at quarter speed, so then we won't miss it. We're only 5 seconds away.
Yeah. It goes from the left side of the screen to the right, so just a little bit below the middle of the screen.
Oh, see it right there? You see it? There's like a... Right there. Now I see it. That's fast.
Yeah.
This is at a quarter speed.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. And those are like... It's like a shockwave, or I don't know if it's shockwave or CME. But I've got a couple of other timestamps from the previous video right before that one, if you had time.
Let me see here. The previous video or this video?
Yeah, that one was beings flying around the sun and shockwave pulse. Or I'm sorry, the one after that, not the one. The previous video is a SpaceX launch, but the one after that is beings flying around the sun and a couple of CME bursts. I don't really know what to call them, so I just put that on there. So I don't want to get criticized by anybody saying whatever, but
you just call them what you call them. Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
Let's see. The SpaceX Falcon 9 Starlink or SpaceX Falcon 9 Starlink.
No, that was before the one. Go down two, I guess. You're looking at the beings flying. The one above that is the SpaceX, but below that is the one I was talking about. It says it has 725 views on it. It's like 2 minutes and 4 seconds long.
Don't know why. It just keeps pulling me into random videos. Okay, hold on.
Huh.
So it's down a little bit, huh?
It's just down. It's down one from the last video we were just looking at.
Okay, now I found it. So the title of this video is "Beings Flying Around the Sun." Also, a couple CME bursts. Okay, we have to finish this out. So, do you have the timestamps?
Yeah, there's 2 timestamps for that one. 27 seconds, and then 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Okay, what are we looking at 27 seconds?
It's the same thing that you saw in the last video. That little like shockwave.
Yeah, I think I saw it in the black cloud.
Yeah. It's like it looks weird in that black cloud. It's like a different light, and I don't know. It's everything looks different in that cloud. It's weird.
It's really weird. The computer's like backing out. Keeps backing out of the video. Okay, so right here. So everybody that goes to this video, we're going to link this on our website. What is the next timestamp, Giant?
That was 27. Go to 1 minute and 14 seconds, and that's the last one.
Okay, I'm just waiting to play it through the one last time. I saw it right around here. If you are looking at it afterwards or watching the replay, it was right there. It was like, and it does show up. What was it? A minute and 14 seconds? Oh, right there. I saw it. Oh, wait, I saw it again.
It looks like 2 of them back. It looks like 2 of them back to back. I think that on that one it was 2. It was like in the top right hand of the screen.
Yep, right up here. I saw it right away.
Yeah, and that's with a polarized lens, like a gray color filter, and looking directly up overhead at the sun.
Well, what people will be able to do is they'll be able to go to this and go to marfooglenews.com, and at the end of all of the articles, there'll be the caller section. Every caller, if they have videos or documents or archived tweets or anything, it will be down there under their name with a link. If they submit videos, it will all be there so you guys can go through and take your time. Giant Tyrant, the reason why I usually give you extra time is because you always have really good videos, and we've used your stuff before because it was so good. You have had some of the most unique footage.
I appreciate that.
So make sure to go over and subscribe to Giant Tyrant. He is almost at 3,000 subscribers. He is. You are growing fast, and I hope you surpass me someday.
I actually was over. I was at one point. I was over 3,000. I was like at 3,400. And then all of a sudden something happened and I dropped like 500 subscribers out of nowhere.
Yep, that's get used to it. What happens is about every Christmas they dump a bunch of people, and they dump people's unused stuff, and they do it for ad reasons, but they also clear out people at the same time, so it kind of gives them cover. So like right before Christmas, the ad rates go up, so then they clear out any kind of account that's fake. Therefore, the advertisers, when they're paying for ad time, they know that they're good subscribers watching it, and good views and whatever else. So I think they do it for ad reasons, but they also use it as a cover. Anyways, Giant Tyrant, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it, and don't be a stranger.
Thank you.
I can't wait for the next video. All right, have a good night. That was Giant Tyrant. If you haven't checked out his channel, he has great stuff, and some of his stuff is just amazing. He's got meteors on his channel, and it's clearly a meteor coming in, and such a beautiful shot of it because he's zoomed in 1,000 times. There's no doubt about it. Like I said, some of his videos, like you can see on the thumbnail here, That was one of the favorites. I actually, we didn't show it on the show. I just watched Giant's channel, and I try to watch as many Foogle Fam channels as I can. But he had some great stuff. Thank you again, Ty Palomino. Appreciate your support there. It says, if you set up a payment arrangement, it means you accept full responsibility for the bill and have to pay it in full, or they can turn it off. Fight the bill. This isn't right. I live in Texas. That was, of course, Ty Palomino saying that. Yeah, I think you're right. You're basically agreeing to pay it if you do that. But I wouldn't say. I would say make sure to check with your local power company. I don't want to tell you anything that might get you in trouble. Stormy7572 says NBC stated Texas grid failed due to not being part of the national grid, which federal guidelines would require turbines to be cold weather ready. Did you hear that? That sounds like a setup. Because, the reason a lot of people that I know want to move to Texas, including myself, is because they have their own grid. They have their own gold supply. They have their own system, basically. They could secede from the United States, and they would be okay. They have all sorts of things that they have on their own. Dex, did you catch that comment? It says NBC stated Texas grid failed due to not being part of the national grid.
And I've noticed that that general theme is to dig at the grid. In other words, to say, well, they did something wrong, or their grid's not as good, or there's obviously an underlying message here, and probably an opportunity that I'm sure they're going to swoop in on.
It seems like there's just some pretty weird stuff there. Nonconformist the Truth Seeker has subscribed. Thank you. And hey, seriously, every single person that subscribes, I realize that that's a human being. So thank you. That is really appreciated. Thank you for spending your time with me. That's a big deal. Me and Dex really, really appreciate it. So thank you. And make sure to welcome the nonconformist Truth Seeker. But I hope you do conform a little bit because we're really nice. Kelly Kaminsky, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Welcome, Kelly Kaminsky, to the Foogle Fam. Lola Cafe, thanks, Marf and Dex, for all you do. And then Ed Crater, thank you. Thank you for supporting Independent. Thank you again for a $50 super chat. That is just insane. So thank you, Ed Crater. If that was an accident, make sure to let us know. Again, we don't want that to be something that you didn't mean to do. But if you did mean to do it, thank you for supporting. If you didn't, do not feel bad about making a mistake. Again, Joseph Johnson. Shout out to Joseph L. Johnson for no apparent reason. Wait a second. You are Joseph Johnson. Is Joseph L. Johnson your dad? Okay, so just shout out to yourself. Hey, me. Hey, me. Not to be confused with Jaime, which is at the newly emptied Chinese border. Satellite images show China emptying military camps at the border flashpoint with India. Okay, this is the last couple months. We've seen actual clashes where the Indian side of it reported actual, people perishing. 20 people perished. And, of course, on the Chinese side, they didn't report any because they just didn't report. We don't know what happened, but this is out of a movie. There was like some sort of brawl on the mountain, the Himalayan mountains, where people were thrown off the mountain and people were, no weapons apparently. And 20 people were, taken out. Imagine the brutality of that. Hand to hand, cliff to foot, whatever you want to call it. So this is really weird. Dex, I'm going to pull you in here. What do you think about this? This is like something gives me a really uneasy feeling about just India in general, especially considering what's going on. And I don't know if you know about the Turnberg stuff or Thunder Thigh, whatever.
No, I'm not up to speed on her. But the thing that we talked about just last night with the drills and India joining them, that was sort of a news to me, or at least alerting to me, but it also signaled to me that something was going on, because if they're joining them, they're allies now with, they were talking about joining Russia and the other I country, and those are allies, all allies with China and each other. So it definitely signals a deal that has been brokered here between the two countries and the two large countries two largest countries in the world, right, as far as population goes. So it sounds like there's a deal brokered. I don't know what exactly that is, and who came out ahead.
And by the way, the whole Greta thing, they're taking it seriously because they consider her meddling in their state, countrywide, politics or whatever. Because what is happening is there's actual riots going on, and they're really bad. This is according to them, right? So they're saying that's a big no-no. Same day, India joins, and then I'm like, sometimes I'm like, why are people rude without even checking their stuff? By the way, we always put a source and we put the article there. So yesterday or the day before, we said India joins the Iran and Russia joint Navy drill. Not only is it this, I mean, it was everywhere. See, everywhere covered it, right? And people were like, no, they were saying that the Iran drills were in the Indian Ocean, not India joining them. And I'm like, we put all of the articles there. I got multiple people basically like, you're wrong. You should correct that. I'm like, okay, check my website. The reason why we do this beforehand is so we don't have to, I don't want to be, I don't want to have to go make a correction. That's why we double check and triple check our sources to make sure. And if it's opinion or rumor, then we make sure to clarify so. And I think that's important right now. And I even clarify, like, hey, here's the official source. This is what MSM is saying, but I don't quite believe it. I'll say that, but I won't give you just fake stuff. How many times we've corrected too? I've corrected myself if we're wrong, and I will fully admit when I am, and I'm, but again, this is a big deal. Why is this all going on at the same time? Why is India joining them at the same time as all this stuff is going on? It's really freaking weird. There it is from Al Jazeera, Hindustan Andalu Agency. Notice how nobody here is covering it? Do you notice that? Global Times, China. Is that weird? Why aren't we covering it? Why is there no MSNBC, no CNN, no none of that? You ever wonder what's getting filtered out? And there's no European ones here. There's no. Notice how there's no Australian news, Sky, or any of them. It's only over there that they're covering this. Makes you wonder why. Pretty weird. Misunderstood. This is so scary how fast this happened. I think this is a wake-up call for how fast we could perish if the power grid went down for 1 week in the USA. Misunderstood. 129. Absolutely. And we've been telling you, it's not, when people think of us saying it, it's many of us. It's the Foogle fam. It's the people that are contacting us. It's everybody. It's not me, or it's not me and Dex. It's everybody. We're just trying to pass stuff on here and have a good time doing it. That's what we're here for. And we're here to talk about things that, you can't talk about with your employer, or you can't talk about with your coworkers, because everything is so damn sensitive nowadays. Marf and Dex, thank you for all you do. Been with you, Marf, since the beginning, and you have truly loved seeing people come together over time on your channel. Everyone, don't forget to share and smack that like button. Corey Loveless, thank you so much. And I never ask, but it does help. And they changed the system, so comments and likes really help with engagement. I've never gotten a video to 5,000 likes. I would love it if you guys help me try. I doubt it will happen, but it would be a blessing if you guys did do that. Leah, thank you so much, because we have 50,000 people watch every day. We never get the likes up there. I'm like, how do people not? How can't they just a little bit, just. Somebody just undid their like because of those sound effects. Ilea, thank you so much for your continued support. Ilea, you are awesome. I really do appreciate it. And your Snapchat shenanigans. John Taylor, thank you so much for all you do. I really enjoy your show. Thank you. And Yinzer Prepper, howdy, Marf. Going to catch the replay in the AM. Hope everyone is staying safe in the Lone Star State. Yinzer, I appreciate that. We might bring you on and other preppers. If you are a prepper channel, we want to get prepper minutes going. That's a whole nother thing. Dex will talk to you about it. Let's see here. And then, yeah. So they're emptying the military. Do you think that they are moving somewhere else? Do you think that they are getting something ready? It's just really weird. It says, the nuclear-armed neighbors last week announced a plan to pull back troops, tanks, and other equipment from the banks of Paosang Sao, a glacial lake in the Lakad region that became a flashpoint in the prolonged border dispute. It says satellite imagery of some of the areas of the northern bank of Pansong So from Tuesday, supplied by Maxar Technologies, show that multiple Chinese military camps, which could be seen there in late January, have been removed. Are you guys catching this? Just recently, they took all of their military equipment back. I actually had a light bulb here, but this will work. Ding, ding. It's supposed to signify a light bulb. You get the idea. Basically, is it clicking with you? Something's going on. Similar action is happening from our side also. An Indian official in New Delhi who asked not to be named. Well, why would he not want to be named? Telling you that they're both backing up. Getting ready for something else, perhaps? Oh, and then the same day they join the Russian military drill? India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh told Parliament that both sides had agreed to pull back troops in, quote, a phased, coordinated, and verified manner. And it said around Pansong So, after which military commanders would discuss ending the standoff in other parts of Lakad frontier. What if, and this is just really putting one crazy out there, what if other countries are realizing how much pull China now has, or where they have maybe infiltrated, and China went to them and said, hey, by the way, you have a choice. After all of this goes down, we could take you over, or you could be on the winning side. It's me and my buddy Putin. We're going to go beat up this dude. Or we're going to try to sucker punch him in the face. Just saying. What do you think? I think the writing's on the wall. People go, "Dude, stop talking about China." Okay, let's just do this. Let's just forget it's all happening. Let's just pretend that everything is okay. Let's watch reality TV. Another U.S. Navy destroyer challenged China in the South China Sea by sailing past contested islands without asking permission. We'll get back to that here in a second. Dex, let's get our next caller on. It looks like we have Ron, first-time caller. There is one line open. Get in your call at 224400 Marf, and remember to press option 4 to get Dex. If you've wanted to call, there's no excuse. You can't say, I've tried for months. I've tried every single day for 24 hours a day for 356 days. And I couldn't get through. I have 2 lines open. Ron, first-time caller, thoughts on power outages and effect on medicine and health from Oregon.
Hey, Marv.
Hey, what's going on, Ron?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Not
fine.
too much. First, let me tell you, my wife loves you and Dex. I've caught the show about the last 3 nights. And you had a gentleman called the other night from Texas talking about the cold weather and the devastation it's having on people. I work for a medical transport company. And here in Oregon, where I live, we just had the worst ice storm that I've seen since like 1982. And people, I transport a lot of people that need dialysis for their kidneys. And all the facilities were shut down. And when these people can't make it to their appointments, it's a long period of time for them to, when they go back to the facilities, to get their numbers back to where they're feeling good. So it's very, very devastating on them. So, people, pray for these folks because they're really dealing with some hardships. Things have started to open up, but I find it funny. We had 211,000 people without power. And I and my wife are still without power. And we've been since Saturday morning, so about 6 days now. And we've seen the trucks that are working on the lines in the area. But it's funny to me. Now they've come in the area, and there's a group of about 5 houses in which we are one, that the power is on each side of us. And you can see the power line right directly across from my house hanging down. And so we've called it in, and when you call in, their remote thing is, there's only one person is called. So only one house is down in that area, and we don't know when we'll get to it. Well, originally when we called to notify we had power outage, it was 48 hours to be fixed. And then it'll be fixed by 11 p.m., and this would be Sunday night. So, day and a half later. And that didn't happen. And then when we called Monday, it was, it's undetermined. So now we've watched vehicles drive by, and they came and they put down orange cones around it. So yeah, they're obviously aware. And I do know that if you have like an elderly person and you make a call about you need your power on or whatever, I think they go the extra mile to try to take care of them. But it would be really interesting if other people were listening in different areas than where I'm at, call in and let me know or let you know about what they think. So today, while I'm at work, the wife watched 3 of our power company trucks roll up, park across the street. They're all looking at the line. They're pointing around, and they drive off and take off. And it's still down.
I'm not
so
trying to laugh, but it's almost comical.
Go ahead.
It's almost comical. You're like, are you kidding me?
Well, to me now, and I've been a route driver, and for us, when you did a route, you started off from, the yard, and you tried to make a circle back to the yard. And what I've watched these vehicles do is drive back and forth. Now, not every 5 minutes, maybe 2 hours now, but to me, it would seem more economically good to work down the road and get all lines that are now. Sure, they've said, well, there's over 6,000 lines down, and I'm sure that's probably correct with as many trees as we've lost in the area. But still, a waste of fuel, a waste of time if they're driving past stuff, and especially if they put cones down to show that it's obviously a power line. And we've just found that kind of funny. And so our last time calling reporting, well, like I said, they said it's just one house when it's 5 of us. But how could they come and work on the lines, just down the road? So, there's 2 houses in between me and the person that has power on each side of us, and like kitty corner across the street, and there's a little group of 5. And, I'm not going like, okay, let's just single these guys out. But I find it funny that they didn't come up the road, fix that line, and drive off to, the next little area where they had stuff with reasonably close to where we're at. And so, I just find that funny. And then you go out and there's some signal lights are on, some aren't. Okay, and sure, that has to do with power lines being down. But now, I think I only found 2 fuel stations that were open. And what was funny is, because we're trying to cook off a camp stove and have a fireplace to keep warm and to eat, I stopped at a Denny's that was open and operating in a different area from where we live, got hot food, and thought, okay, I'll go get gas, just a couple gallons for my generator. And I go to a gas station, won't give the name of what it is, but their lights are on, but their pumps aren't working. Okay, maybe I'm not an electrician, I don't know, but I think that's kind of funny. Is you got enough power to be running lights, selling groceries or small snacks and things like that if you've got it, but your pumps aren't working. And to me,
did they have a generator?
It's odd, and I don't know. Now I know that a local grocery store down the street from us has a small generator, and it only operates a few lights, but yet they had no cash registers open except the self-serve, and only 3 of those. Well, how do you have enough power to run that? And then I've been to another store not far from this Denny's I went to that they have generators. And so the whole store was lit up. Their refrigeration systems were working. And in these other places, they're not. And now, like I said, 6 days, stuff's got to be going bad. And then, when we had the toilet paper outage, people bought it up and you couldn't get any. Is that going to happen with the food, now? Because they're going to have to wait to get enough stuff to restock and supply all these different places that are out. It's kind of worrisome now. I truly believe in the Lord, and I know He'll take care of us. And I don't want to say I'm a prepper, but my dad was, military World War II in Korea, and he always taught me about, hey, even if it's overkill and being prepared, be prepared, because you never know what's going to happen. And, and I know you guys were talking about having that, the prepper channel or whatever. And I think that would be a great thing.
So Ron,
one thing I do want to express. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question real quick. So one thing that I think too is that I think that we need to really, really try to get to know our neighbors, especially in neighborhoods. It's like you have neighbors that have power. But let me ask you this. Do you know if your neighbors are getting their rates raised? So you're sitting there without power for 6 days. You can see a house with power. Is that right? Or am I incorrectly hearing it? So you can see a house down the street.
Yeah, no,
and they've got power. It just seems to me.
Absolutely, but I couldn't tell you.
It just seems to me like you
Go
should.
Ahead, I interrupted
if you knew your neighbors, I would. If my house was the only house on the block, I would be inviting people over to take showers. I really would. I mean,
I was just going to get to that. What I've noticed is my neighbors have come out of the woodwork to be helpful. Neighbor across the street, I offered him wood. I bought like a cord and a half earlier in the summer and split it and stacked it. And, no charge. I gave it to them because they had nothing for keeping warm. A neighbor next door to me gave him wood. We had a lady that I says has power, kitty corner. She brought over one of those little portable phone chargers and gave it to the wife so that we could keep in contact while I'm at work. Because when I'm not here, she doesn't know how to run the generator, and it's kind of old and really noisy. But my neighbors have come out of the woodwork. We have one neighbor who 2 years ago set up a neighborhood get-together, sent out a little flyer, and about 8 of us showed up. And he worked for FEMA for a number of years and had people that he knew that showed up for the meeting to give input and info. But he handed out these little, they're like a little stick that you put in water to purify it for drinking.
Yeah.
And they're about $20 a piece. And he gave them out, no charge. At first, we thought when this was going to happen, it was like a sales pitch. And they handed out a booklet that everybody was there. We gave our address, our phone number, our names, and you drew out a map as to where everybody's house was. And in case we had like a devastating earthquake, which they talk about could happen, we could go and check on these neighbors. Not that we wouldn't others, but these are ones that we got to know and what kind of skill set that we had. Whether you were a nurse, if you had any first aid training.
I forgot you were in Oregon.
Just really awesome.
I forgot you're in Oregon. You're not in Texas. So you've been 6 days. Just to remind you folks, this man is in Oregon without power for 6 days, not Texas. And that really hit me. And then when you started talking, you're talking Cascadia subduction zone. You're in the main spot with the tsunami. Rick, we're running out of time, so I just wanted to give you a minute heads up. I get what you're saying. So they're basically trying to let you know that people are going to have to understand that your neighbor's next to you. People are going to have to realize who's a doctor, who's a nurse, who's a chef at some point, who knows how to pick berries. That's the point it's going to be after the tsunami and the preceding earthquake. It's going to be crazy. We're going to see something that the world hasn't seen before when we see Cascadia.
Well, but I my last thing I want to say is when I've seen my neighbors pull together like we've done to, help out this way, me giving wood, them bringing these power sources for us to charge our phones. This is what the Lord wants us to do. We don't get paid for that. We're supposed to take care of one another. I want to say it's like a mandate that we're to care about our brother and sister. But then again, remember, Satan's the great deceiver. You see have those will fool you, and they'll have plenty for themselves, and they'll come over and take more for them and start leaving you shorted. I'm a firm believer in that too. I got love, but you know what? I can dish out tough love just as well.
I love it. Which I get what you're saying. Like, oh, here's a cup of sugar. Can I just grab all of your wood? I thought
Exactly.
Well, I gave you a cup of sugar.
Yeah.
I get you. Well, hey, Ron, it was nice talking to you and a great. I'm really surprised. This is really blown me away that the amount of people that are still without power, and this is all across the country. It's not just in Texas. We're hearing about Texas because Texas has the most, perishing. But what about all of this is affecting the entire country food-wise. Think about all those places without power, just like you said, Ron. That's a huge deal. All of those stores that are out or cannot keep their food, all that food is trashed. And then, of course, with transportation totally screwed up, this is going to set us back weeks, even months, as far as the food, the food supply chains and everything else going. This is the first time I've seen where post offices were closed across the country in different places. I mean, that's just nuts. I understand sometimes they'll close or they'll say they're not doing stuff, but they were actually like not doing anything.
Yeah, and I've never seen that either. But hey, I appreciate you taking my call, and we'll keep listening. And you guys just keep up the good work. By the way, say hello to your wife and thank her for introducing you to my channel. And it was a blessing talking to you, Ron. And I'm so glad that you're there to help your neighbors and vice versa. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night. You too. Thank you. Bye. All right. God bless you. Susan Rock, I saw that. You said that you actually hosted people
and you guys made sandwich, or I think breakfast. You did that kind of thing where you got together with your neighbors. That's the thing. We need to get to know our neighbors. And you know what's really even crazy? We have so many people do a roll call in both chats, just the state. I bet you'll see, Washington, California. There's probably hundreds of the people that watch this show. I mean, just out of the 10 to 15,000 people that watch live, just out of the people that watch and actually participate in the chat, there's probably people in your area that you could get to know that are, don't think you're crazy for preparing, and that would have your back. So if Cascadia subductions don't happen and you're in Oregon, you have a Foogle fam member that would check on you. Think about what happened to my brother-in-law. I did a tweet, and within 20 minutes, somebody drove an hour to go pick him up and had him spend the night not knowing that man. And it ended up working out really well. Then gave him a ride to the airport the next day so he could get back to work on his business trip. But somebody helped, just doing it for the cause of just doing something good for somebody else. That is exactly what we need right now. And we need to just stop all of this. What they want us to do is be split up. Forget that. If it means not talking about certain subjects, then don't do it. Let's be friends. Zippy Moons, thank you so much. Again, you are so far number 1 over on D-Live. Sammy Lee, thank you for being number 2 so far. I'm sorry if I missed comments. I wish D-Live would save those. Samaria Sakara, thank you so much. Kahaja Flygirl in 4. Vault 111, thank you for being number 3. All above a Ninja Genie, thank you. Kimberly Clemens, Rick Missouri, and Tower Bear, thank you all. All of you guys, at least a Ninja Genie supported us. So thank you. That is really appreciated. Again, we are independent. We don't have a multi-channel network. And we have no backup. We have no insurance. And we're all on our own. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you, Gone Girl, Veteran Steve. Thank you, all of our regular supporters like Susan Donahue. I mean, we have really great. We are blessed to have people that go above and beyond for us. And we're just couldn't ask for anything, honestly. Thank you so much. Lisa K23, love to our Marfoogle fam. Let's see. Let's get back into it. Dex, that ran a little bit long. We might only have, I don't know if we have how many spots left, but I wanted to get into this last couple here because there's some big stuff here. Let me see here. Oh, man. By the way, I'll talk about that here in a second. Go over to the website and check out as part of China's norms, right? Another U.S. Navy destroyer challenged China in South China Sea. I don't really have to read much of that. You guys understand exactly what we're talking about here. Spratly Islands, which were the manufactured islands there's an area where there were a couple pieces of land popping up, but what they did is they dug up actual dirt. If you're new to my channel, I've talked about Spratly Islands since they were being formed. And by formed, I'm not talking about by nature or earthquakes or, Pangea changing. We're talking about Chinese digger ships basically taking dirt from the bottom of the ocean and creating islands. And in the beginning, we didn't know what it was. Like, or is this some sort of little, get-together island? Maybe it's a little resort. Maybe they're doing oil. Or maybe they're building a forward operating base roughly at about halfway point, right? And then they started putting air fields. Then they started putting anti-air weapons. Then they started putting tanks. Then they started putting jets. Then they started putting their entire navy, which happens to be 100 ships bigger than ours. Just in the last year, they said, boom, China's the biggest navy in the world. Just to reiterate that, in the world. China. Just poor old little make it backwards China, right? They're not a threat. They if it's made in China, it will only last a week. Okay. All right. Even if they steal our plans and use the exact same materials, okay. They're actually surpassing us in some technical fields because they can steal our scientists and they can steal our smart people. That was our advantage. Don't know. I just don't think people should underestimate China. I think that they are very powerful, and they don't have any limitations. They don't have moral limitations to stop them. They could be doing, WW2 type experiments on people. Again, just look at that story. What do you think they're doing with those people? We know for a fact it's actually come out through government documents in almost every country. Europe knows it. Australia knows it. Every three-letter agency knows it. They're taking these people and doing all sorts of stuff. That's a fact. It's not a fictional movie. So this is a big deal. Going to Spratly, this has been happening a whole lot, and it's just like WW2. We knew before it happened. We knew we were on odds with these countries. Most of you weren't alive, or if some of you were, you totally understand what I'm saying. Lisa K23, thank you. Texas Rob 49 says Texas representing. Emoji. Rush Limbaugh. Okay, so my grandpa was a huge Rush Limbaugh fan. I did not listen to him much. I've, of course, know who Rush Limbaugh is. Radio king and architect of right wing dies. Okay, so people were cheering this on, and I did a YouTube story on my channel. I basically called people pieces of crap because he's a human being. He just battled cancer. What is wrong with people? The second he perishes, people are saying, "Oh well, good. He's closer to T-Man, and now he's doing all this," and just the most nastiest things. Why so much hate? Why do you have so much hate? Do you know that you've actually both sides have been trained to hate the other? Like, it's just dumb. Why so much actual hate? You won't step out and go, wait, why am I not being an adult? And why am I not looking at people? Why am I not using anything I've learned my entire life? And now why am I following the rules of what Facebook and all these people tell me that I should be offended by? Why? What happened to free speech? What happened to both sides getting their words heard and then saying, okay, let me pass you the stick. This is a lightsaber, but let me pass you the lightsaber of speech. Okay? You hearing me? Here's your lightsaber of speech. You can talk. I'm going to hate what you say, but I'm going to listen. And then I'm going to talk. You're going to hate what I say. And then you're going to listen. And then we're going to finish our beers and go home. Remember that? Remember in the movie? Remember in the show like 5 minutes ago when I said remember? Yeah, you guys remember. It says, to those who hated him, the names he conjured were often unfit to print. Such was the nature of Limbaugh, who died of lung cancer, which is one of the roughest, Wednesday at the age of 70, prized by adherents as the voice of conservatism, pillared by critics as the worst of American extreme right wing. Says he was divisive to the very end, but it did little to diminish his importance as the dominant force of talk radio. My grandpa, who died in 96, used to yell at the radio every single morning. That was my earliest memories, was him standing in the kitchen. My grandpa was a great man. Standing in the kitchen, screaming at the radio, even though he can't hear, tried to call in multiple times, always recorded his calls. So there's calls of my grandpa to Rush Limbaugh all over the place. One thing I think of, though, is that man was a human being. He had a family, he had children, he had wife, he had parents, he had brothers and sisters. Why so much hatred? Absolutely horrid. I don't know what... People are just doing what they're told, and they don't even know they're being told because they're alive. It's all eat, sleep, obey, and you don't realize, and you say, I don't watch the news. I'm not being pushed either way. I don't watch the news. I just scroll Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and everything else. and I don't realize I'm getting pushed into different opinions. Or I have previous things from my life, experiences that make me hate certain things. I had something happen to me, so now I'm going to hate everybody. Okay. White House advisor claims SolarWinds hack. Sorry about the rant. White House advisor claims SolarWinds hack likely of Russian origin. Oh, really? Affected 9 federal agencies. Well, whoever it was that did it, they got into everything. Who knows? It could have been people on our side for them or for somebody else. Doesn't matter. It was one of the most serious hacks of all time. Dex, can you talk about the hack since you're our resident tech guy? This hack was so serious. I can't stress how serious this was, and it's becoming more apparent every single day. With that combined with everything else, what do you think?
Well, certainly, Adam. The one thing that comes to mind is that we're hearing, at least from another official, about a new number of potential agencies, and that who it's been I guess hit. This attack was they used a tool. I should back up. The whole idea of SolarWinds, if you're not aware, it's a tool that then people that run networks use. So everybody had SolarWinds installed on all of their networks to monitor and do different things on their networks. So that was the application that was actually hacked. And the people that had the back door, basically, they were at a level in everyone's network where they could get access to everything else. So it was basically this wide open backdoor into, just about every Fortune 500 company, every department of a branch of the military. Now they're saying it's exactly, 9 different federal agencies were hit by it. The other thing is this was rolled out over time. It was discovered it started in March and it was discovered late last year when it happened. But we weren't sure how many people actually got hit and who had upgraded their system to actually accept this vulnerability. Not that you would want to accept it, but that's what happened. You were putting in an upgrade, and that upgrade had the backdoor in it that allowed these hackers to get into everything. So, this is going to play out probably for years. We're going to find, this thing went down, or that thing happened, or this other event happened, and it all happened because of SolarWinds. And it's not just that the fact that there was that hole from SolarWinds at that time, because certainly it's all been patched by now, right? Everybody would have went out and cleaned up the hole. But when the hole was there, these hackers can actually create other holes into networks or other hacks into networks that are not seen, and they're just sitting dormant waiting to be used, right? So getting into the back door and then, grabbing a copy of the keys to the other door that you think is fine, and all of a sudden 3 months later the hacker comes into that other door that they created while they were there. Does that make sense?
Yep. And just to add a quote to this, it says, quote, "This is a sophisticated actor who did their best to hide their tracks. We believe it took them months to plan and execute this compromise." Not only this, right at the same week that this happened, you of course had Nashville stuff going on. And we can't talk about some of the stuff that we found out about that. I don't think it would help. I mean, it wouldn't help at this point. It's already there. It's done. But I would say is I would not only keep your head on a shoulder, keep your digital head on a shoulder. As far as realize up above 18,000 of its customers, including many tech companies, most of them Fortune 500. So all those companies that have your information that you've, say, oh, it's trustworthy, it's secure, it has a little lockup in the corner. I'll put my credit card and all my social security in there. Those are the ones affected. So, and somebody above them's watching, like what? The government, Pentagon. Oh, those all got hit too. All 5 military branches. CIA. Oh, okay. Crap. So
I always question when somebody points the finger, especially publicly like this, because they point the finger one direction, but I really think it's going to be a different direction. If they're pointing to the right, it's going to be to the left. And so when I think about sophistication, and the ability to pull off this type of technology. I mean, certainly, I'm not going to say Russia doesn't have the ability to do it. Maybe they do. But there's another country that's got a lot more money, that's a much bigger superpower, that's got invested heavily in science and technology, and that's China. And so I'm not saying it's them, but
Well, not only heavily invested in the same ones that are being the little guy with the cane and the monocle. Do not pass go, just die in a camp. Those companies. I think A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, J, L, M, P, Q, R. Oh, it starts with a ABC. Yeah. Early accusations stemming from the SolarWinds hack were quickly linked to Russia, as former U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo deemed Moscow was responsible. What's weird is Mike Pompeo has publicly basically all pointed everything towards China, and then they say that it's this. I don't know what's going on as far as, who's really to blame. This also could very well be a Fantastic Freddy to the likes we've never seen before. I mean, how easy would that be, right? If you have your own technology and you know how to hide your tracks, that would be very easy to hide your own tracks because you're the one looking for it. And you're the one with the systems and the inside knowledge to know how to hide your tracks. And even if you found your own tracks, you would be able to quickly delete them. Just saying. Wearable chip can tell you when stress levels are dangerously high through your sweat. No thanks. This is studyfinds.org. It says, from fitness monitors to sleep trackers, wearable technology has taken self-improvement to new heights. Now, a new device developed by Swiss researchers might warn you if your stress levels are growing dangerously high. In other news, you can also look into a mirror, and if you are super sweaty, you're probably pissed off or sweaty or stressed. I think that's another way to do it. Scientists at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, Louisiana, are designing a wearable sensor that measures cortisol in human sweat. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Normally, cortisol levels fluctuate throughout the day, following a circadian rhythm. When dealing with certain diseases, however, the circadian rhythm is disrupted. If people who suffer from stress-related diseases, this circadian rhythm is completely thrown off. And it says, and if the body makes too much or not enough cortisol, it can seriously damage an individual's health, potentially leading to obesity, cardiovascular, depression, or burnout. Just general burnout. Like, I'm done. I'm just done. I hate when I'm just like, I'm done. Just general burnout. I don't want to. That's what that is. So they're quantifying it with
they
a
got
patch.
a pill for everything, so now they're going to have a wearable for everything.
Yep, they're going to have a smartwatch-enabled Bluetooth chip that goes in a patch and will detect your cortisol. No, thank you. Yes, sirree, ma'am. No, I'm good. If you don't want to be tracked and traced, speaking of which, you should be looking into something like an EDEC bag. EDEC is a company that has worked with agencies like all of those that have been affected, of course, selling these as evidence bags. Anything you put in there is offline. There's no signals going in or out. How you can use this as a civilian is you put your cell phone in there, you're not going to be tracked no matter where you go. If you put your car keys in there, it's also protected against signals going in. A lot of people ask about EMP stuff for your keychains or for your key fobs. This is a good way to do it. They actually have certain devices. Go to their website. You'll see everything there. Again, make sure to use our code. Then we get a commission and you get a discount. Pretty freaking sweet. I would say so myself. But if you don't want to support us, there's other creators that have it. Just either way, I would highly recommend, out of all of the affiliates that we work with, I would highly recommend the EMP Shield right now. It's kind of a no-brainer. But if you want to put your device in there, again, that's marfooglenews.com/EDEC. Use the savings code Marfoogle. Bam. All right. Dex, let's get our next caller on. It looks like I'm trying to find something here. Thank you.
Yeah, our
Okay.
next caller is Kitchen Sink.
Kitchen Sink. Kitchen Sink. Asking the family if there's any connection between CERN and Nestle. What? Oh.
And Kitchen Sink, you are
Hello.
live.
Hi. Everything but. What's going on, Kitchen Sink?
Just keeping it real. How are you?
Good. So, it looks like you have some picks here. What are we looking at here?
I was just drinking a bottle of water, the good old Nestle Pure Life, and the front image of the bottle just kind of triggered me, I guess. And I was like, maybe that's some sort of disclosure. And I was just thinking about the different things that it reminded me of as far as the shape goes or like the planet goes. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe it's like a pupil or it's an eyeball or something. And then my partner was like, it looks like 3 people are jumping into a portal. And I was like, oh, you're right. It kind of does look like that. So then I just started digging and I like looked up different humanitarian things that Nestle's involved with. Just a side note, they acquired Starbucks not too long ago. And I don't know if you know who helped Howard, I believe his name is Howard Schultz, acquire his share of Starbucks was Bill Gay, AIDS Day Senior. But anyway, again, just a side note.
Wow.
So through digging and digging and digging, I went to their headquarters. I saw that in Sweden or I think Switzerland. And then I was like, oh, CERN's also in Switzerland. So I put it in Google Maps to see how far apart they were. And then turns out they're connected by a water arc. And I don't know if you or like who has studied what about it, but there was a Nobel Peace Prize awarded for someone who discovered that DNA lives on and is like transported through water. So if anybody has any sort of reading that we could do on that, I would love to see, because I've tried Googling, and of course Google doesn't show you much.
Just to clarify, and we've talked about this on the show. In fact, a previous caller kind of gave us some of the documents on that, where water actually has a memory. Is that what you're talking about? And it can remember and
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is a true thing. This is real, and it's been proven now. Really insane stuff. Water has a memory. Think about that. Okay, and then we have...
That's what they're feeding us. That's what they're wanting us to consume.
That's weird. Think about smart water. Think about that. Smart water or this water or whatever. Think about in the future where they could put, changing things in our water. Think about what FB CEO just said about the V. Him personally, what just came out through Veritas. Think about that. These high ups, what are their views on these things? We just got it. So obviously we see some connections here. The pictures you sent, pretty crazy. So you've actually looked at kind of the connections here, and you've got obviously the staff, and look at all the big wigs that are here. That's kind of crazy.
And what were they doing before they were there? I just think it's something, just some food for thought, or some water for thought.
Ha ha ha! Pun. I love it.
Har.
Hold on, and then wow. So all 11 of these images, which you can go and see what it's basically put together. The connections here. DNA teleportation is a claim that DNA produces electromagnetic signals, EMS, measurable when highly diluted in water. Similar principle to water memory, a concept popularized by Jacques Beneficente in 1988. Isn't this nuts? I mean, the world we are in right now is just absolutely insane. Well, thank you again. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
just take it easy. Everybody, let's just try to get to tomorrow in one piece.
I think that that's the best thing I've heard today and tomorrow, if we make it. All right.
Lord willing.
All right. Hey, bless you, and have a great night, and please be safe, be prepared.
Y'all too. Thank you.
Marv out. Kara Fuse, thank you, says, sorry, Dexy, it auto-corrected Dex. How embarrassing. That is hilarious, Kara Fuse, because I saw the previous one. It says, hello Googlers, Adam and family mods, Lexi and Sex. Good one, Kara Fuse. I'll tell Lexi and Sex over there that you said hi. Your name is actually Sex? Oh, wow. How did she know? That's insane. Love you guys, watching you 2 times a day on 2 different accounts. Everyone should try it. Oh, I get what you're doing there. Thank you. Thank you and thank you. I didn't tell you to do so. I'm liking, unliking, and reliking 5,000 times, so rest assured it went down, even if it doesn't show. Says Hunter Bear Ian. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. BCS, thank you so much for your support tonight. Yinzer Prepper, thank you again. I cannot say thank you enough to everybody that's supporting us. Again, we are independent. We do not have a multi-channel network, and we are by ourselves, all by our lonesome. Well, I have Dex. And Sex, apparently. But not in the same... let's move on. Rush Limbaugh was the bee's knees, says Texas Rob 49. Lisa K23 says, pray over your food protection and apparently your water. Gone Girl 777 in the house, says Adam, Dex, Mods, and Foogle fam. Much love. Gem up in the house. Love Pug 05. Thank you for being here. And Jammer, thanks for giving out subs. Of course, Moist Leather. Thank you for following, and you are more than welcome. Everybody, welcome Moist Leather. Tonight's a weird one, but I do appreciate all weird and all kinds. Dex, we have RE55, and I'm assuming we have a video to go with this because it's RE55. RE55. I'm going to get this video up. You are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, Marv. Hey, Foogle fam. It's Sexy Dex there.
Sorry. Okay. What are we looking at here?
I don't know. I don't see nothing on the screen yet here.
It's going to be a 20-second delay, so just let us know. Okay, so what video did you send in? You should know. Looks like another asteroid. Did we lose Ari? That's crazy. That is not an asteroid. You guys know what that is. So here's the thing. With his zoom, he catches not only the one kind of thing, he and others have been catching asteroids coming in, and they're very clearly not regular, they're not regular aircraft. These things are asteroids coming through our atmosphere. Dex, okay, we got him back. Never mind. RE55. Sorry if you got cut off there.
Yes. I couldn't hear you.
That's okay. Now can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So what are we looking at? There's multiple things here. Obviously, we've got some aircraft, and then we've got something falling.
Well, these are. It's a huge object going through the sky. It's late in the evening on this one here. It's been so cold and cloudy and snowing and ice. It's way below the operating temperature of my camera. The camera shouldn't be trying to operate under 30 degrees, but here it is 0 degrees. And I didn't even want to look outside, but because I'll probably see something and I'll have to go out there and take a picture of it. And It's like, oh my God, there is something out there. So I go out there, and this is what I catch.
What? That
I've
is
got some
not
blown
an
up pictures of
aircraft.
it.
And look at how it's splitting up.
No,
Do you see that?
it's moving like a comet does. I've got a video of the comet Neowise back in July, and that's exactly how it moves. As what I gather is as the Earth is rotating, this is acting like it's going down.
Look at that.
Like we see the sun going. Look how far away it is.
This is why I think that these guys, you and Giant Tyrant and everybody else with these amazing cameras, you catch what the human eye is not catching. And when you zoom in, that's not a plane.
That's right.
That's not. The other one, so he usually does kind of a combination of different videos. So he'll show you a plane and then he'll show you this. That's just weird looking. Oh, what cool footage. And now we're looking at birds.
There's some. Oh yeah, this whole miles and miles of birds just going through the air, and I was like, well, they're right ahead of this big Arctic freeze that came in, and it was already cold, but I always see these birds flying like this right before these Arctic temperatures plunge into this central part of the United States.
Well, the birds are going to know before anybody else. They're up there.
Oh yeah.
They can feel
They're
it.
trying to show us, hey, get out of here. But I stayed here, and it got down to 28 below on one night with the wind chill. It was like -8 actual temperature. That was the night one of my pipes froze up, but I got it unthawed pretty quick that morning. But I was like, wow, it's never been that bad here in 20 years I've been here.
And at 347, you've got something that's kind of crazy here. Is that may be an aircraft?
Yeah, I've got a blown up picture of it. If you want to see it, go down to the link of this video and look at the first link that's got pictures on it above. It's right below the where it says Foogle Fam. Click on that first link of pictures there, and you'll see some blown up pictures of that object.
So this is another thing.
And I thought it was some type. Yeah.
Go ahead. I was just going to tell everybody that Ari takes the time to do the images and to show you if it is or if it's not, and then does the blow ups. See, of every image in this kind of combination of videos, he blows them up and then does different things so you can see clearer, or does the contrast.
I'm using AI technology to help enlarge these photos. I'm not adding color or anything to it on a lot of these photos. It's just taking away the noise and taking away the blurriness, and you're left with a crisper picture of what you're trying to blow up. And you can also make it up to 7K or 8K or whatever you want it to go, as high as you want to go.
Wow, some great photos here. Well, as always,
somebody sent some in.
That's really cool. Yeah. And everything is. This is a weird one. Well, Ari, is there some closing thoughts? We're almost at our I believe we're at our mark here, so we're gonna have to.
I always get you at the end.
I know, that's all right. Is there anything else you want to say before you go, Ari?
No, I just want to say you guys do a great job, and God bless you.
If you haven't seen Ari55, his channel is getting big, and I like I said, I hope you surpass me. You've got amazing footage and amazing stuff. Again, Ari55 is over 5,000, something like that. I mean, the guy is. I hope he gets bigger than me and much bigger than me. Really does a really great job. Ari, thank you so much for calling in, and I love you, and thank you for watching almost every show. I really do appreciate it. You know,
thank you, buddy.
You always have me. I always got your back.
Thank you, man. Always got yours.
All right. Well, good night, Ari, and God bless you, and have a great one. And I will see you next time.
All right. Good night.
Probably Friday, I'm assuming. I guess that's tomorrow. No, it's 2 days. Unidentified. I'm sure you'll be sending in a submission. Thank you so much. Have a great night. All right. Gone Girl 777 says, all love Foogle fam. Thank you, Gone Girl. You know you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. And Gone Girl 777, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the crazy amount of diamonds over there. Mama of 6, Gems. Mockingbird 1101. Thank you guys all for coming tonight. Dex, great photos. Will these be available on the website? Can we actually grab this link from underneath the video and put that over there as well?
We'll put it on. We'll do it. We'll put it on the website.
Okay, everything is going to be updated, so you can go to marfooglenews.com. You will not only see all of the tweets, all of the videos, all of the articles, everything archived, and you will see the caller stuff all there in one place. And if you're watching the replay, if you appreciate the work that goes into the show, can you please press that like button? Not too much to ask. Again, thank you so much for being here tonight. We're about to head out. It's about that time. I think it's I can't shoutro. I gotcha. I did it before you left. Usually when I said it's not an outro, it's not a shout, you all cut out. I know because I'm watching the analytics. So I got you. And I started the shoutro early. Have a good night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marfoogle out. The Gone Girl 777. Gotta bring it back, go to heaven. Bring it upstairs, patriot it. Do it like this, chunky, bury it. With the Carolyn and the Russian by Radio King and Architect Law. Bring it right back and I gotta check out. Mad Mike Char, huggy on the bear. Keep on showering and everybody's there. Martin Benjamin, another amazing show. Great job on the guy. Big Van Sickle and the big dog guy. CWT process server. Thanks for your support. Thank you, Kara Fuse and the Hollow Googlers, Hunter Berry on and the rest of the Hoodlers. Got the Kara Fuse and the BCS, Yinza Prepper and the John Taylor, yes. I, Leah, and Nat Corey love less. Got the dinner roll check, gonna bring it back. Gonna walk it down like I walk it like that. Dum-a-dum-dum-dum. 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 Got the wrist up, bring it on the G-stop, bring it on the field, Billy X on the lead, D-Lexi. On down the Texas, on the back of D, and the prep your family. Laura Griffith, the Bear Claw, Lisa, gonna be down on the way. Overbuilt automotive able body, nature's bounty homestead. Debbie C gotta speed it up, Chicago artists and their art jags. Oh. said, going right back, 100W on 12, with the barefoot lass and the Texas rock, and the IDK and the Chuck Norris, and the Mrs. Gammer and the Sharp Penny. I bring it right back, now I gotta come to jelly on the beat now, with the all light, and the R-Jacks, and I took on that, and the Surjack, and the Carafuse, and the Mininator, and that Fur Juice, and the ORE55, no need to survive. Bring that back with the kid on back, and kick that on the cool down back. Jimmy on the Bob Dobbs, and Laura Griffith, Zigwa, Heather Daniel, and that big on. Get it, go, get it on, get it on, get it with it home. Now I'm on it, don't make no minute. Hey, now go back down that jelly. Pam Benedict, I'm getting on jelly, and the rock pole life, and the Lord our King. Bring it right back, and I give you a ding. AMS and the Ashley Marie, I love Jesus forever, and I see a mama of 6 and a Chewie. Chewbacca that is on a chestnut. I got that lakeside lava on a bring back. Need that bigger letters going blind. Murphy singing welcome music, and he knows it won't be around. Gotta bring it down with the lace car. Lil' King to the on, Gonna bring the Goofy Mo, me now. Jen B, Shannon Jones, everybody see. Now the master, Big Chief, Henry BB. Gonna back with the Linda on the helmet. Show Jen B, and the shoe Billy. I'm not a fiddle Billy, I'm the Sherry, I'm on a big nap. Diary 55, Martin, the Benjamin, McMahon, the Sickle, and everybody getting in. CW process server. Gotta go back round that curve, back around the corner, and I gotta speed it up. Bring it right back down, everybody get. Go back grip on the idea now. John Taylor is a prepper in the BCS. Gonna bring it down like a Corey on the best. Bring it right back down, gonna get an ass, and the don't down pick now. Bring it on the bound. Going back around now, if it on the now. And the Keyshawn free bird, spelling it out, all for sure out. And the recalcitrant and the Jim Voss Shadow, Jaw Honky Bear. Gonna go back round right over there. Gonna give me say a fuck old bear. I'm Maui racing, reel it there. Gonna do it now, side to the left and right. Do this thing and do it tonight. Oh, nah, nah. Holy moly, Gone Girl 777 just took #1 spot. to Susan. I thank you for being a good neighbor and giving a breakfast to everyone. And a rest soon, 2020. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. No. Thank you, Gone Girl. Veteran Steve, it's nice to see you tonight. Thank you so much. Whether you're here or not, you get shouted out. Appreciate your support. Thank you for being one of a very few on Patreon. Thank you so much. By the way, new. I believe somebody was new on there. Let's see here. Who was it? There was somebody. Debbie Jansen, thank you so much for joining me with a very weird Patreon amount of $10.08. You are actually one of, I think, 3 people in that tier, so thank you so much. With the Griffley, Sub Steve, Stratosphere, I bring Veteran Steve, no fear. Bring it right back, and I never say